Hi everyone, welcome back to the weekly reading, and I missed out last week because I was on a break, but we're back, and this is for the week of October 2nd through to the 8th, 2017. So wow, it's already October. This year really, I mean, every year seems to go by faster and faster, but I can't believe it's almost Christmas. This week I'm just going to talk about, there's quite a few little tidbits to do with the astrology, and there is a full moon this week in Aries, so I want to talk about that. And I'm going to be using cards from the Golden Universal Tarot, so I'll just be shuffling those as I speak. And also one card from this deck here, which is the Eternal Crystal Oracle, which also has chakra messages as well. So, alright, Monday, Tuesday with the astrology, we have Mars in Virgo making a positive, harmonious trine aspect with Pluto in Capricorn. So this is a very strong energy to get yourself moving, to sort of pick yourself up and kind of dust yourself off from any of the issues from last week. Now, I say issues from last week because we had some really testing energies there with Venus making a difficult aspect with Neptune, and also Mars and Neptune, which may have had some people feeling weak physically, could have brought out a lot of health issues, fatigue, tiredness, or even relationship issues because of Venus being involved there. And Neptune tends to dissolve things, it tends to weaken things sometimes and have us focus more on spiritual matters. So if you felt that way last week, like more tired, more, lethargic and, a bit ineffectual, it was kind of like that energy was definitely associated with those transits. And this week the energy is starting to pick up again. We have that Mars trine Pluto helping you get things done, helping you get back on track. Mars is in Virgo, which does relate to the health of the physical body, so it's picking energy back up again, which is great, I think, and especially good for anyone that's an earth sign as well, or if you've got strong earth element in your chart. On Tuesday, we have the moon in Pisces, which is very, very sensitive and very psychic, making a powerful conjunction with Neptune, which is the ruler of Pisces. So here we have this double Neptunian energy, this very spiritual energy. So late on Tuesday is a great time to, if you want to work on things like psychic development, journaling, writing, creativity, having some kind of ideal experience, whether that's on your own or sharing with others. It can be a good energy to do something that feels escapist but in a positive way. So like watching a beautiful movie that's inspiring, or reading a great book, doing something uplifting that's either spiritual or inspirational or creative is really good. Late Tuesday with that powerful moon in Pisces conjunct Neptune. I hope I didn't accidentally say full moon. If I did, I correct myself. It's the full moon's coming up in Aries towards the end of this week. Now, Mercury's just moved into Libra, so we're trying to find a mental balance here with, our communications with others, being diplomatic, being fair, trying to find balance. And if, you may find some people with this energy, if they don't feel that there's balance in communications, they can get quite aggravated and try to force balance in situations. So just be wary of that. There can be a bit of a tit-for-tat mentality with Libra, where, there's an obsession with trying to get everything perfectly balanced. But, if you feel like you're trying to be too perfect about things, just try and take a step back. But Mercury in Libra also is about harmony, beauty, creativity as well, and sort of chilling out and kind of not overthinking as much. So we've come out of a lot of energy in Virgo where we were probably over analytical, overthinking, and now it's in that energy of Virgo, which is a little bit more laid back. So the key thing this week is the full moon in Aries. Now, this full moon is interesting. It's on 12 degrees of Aries. So if you have anything in your chart around 12 degrees of a cardinal sign, so Aries, Capricorn, Libra. What was the other one? Oh gosh, love it when I have a mental blank like that. Yeah, I don't know. I can't think right now. But how could I not know what the other? Oh my gosh, I'm obviously tired. So. Anyway, basically if you're a cardinal sign and Aries, the full moon makes a contact to your personal chart, anything around 12 degrees of cardinal. Cancer, there we go, I knew it would come to me. That's the other cardinal sign. Just look out for that energy, because full moon in Aries, I always find it's very adrenalized, you know, it's a very powerful energy. And this particular one doesn't make any major aspects. It does make an opposition to Mercury in Libra. So with that, I'd say you might feel torn between your own independent needs and desires and, you know, having to work with others around the full moon. You might feel a bit more self-centered, and you know what, I think that's a good thing. If you're someone especially that's always giving to others, take that time for yourself. Sometimes if you're a very giving person, people can take advantage of that and sort of, you know, become boundaryless and start telling you everything, every little detail about their lives on a constant basis. And it's like, you know what, I don't have time for this. Come back into your power. And Aries, you know what I love about Aries, they're very unapologetic, and it's like they draw boundaries, and it's like, no, I don't have time for this. Cut that connection off. And, you know, even if it's not permanently cutting a connection off, it might just be showing somebody some boundaries that you need, because of that opposition to Mercury in Libra, which, you know, Libra can be a little bit needy. No offense, Libras, I do love the Librans, and I've got Libra energy in my chart, but Libra energy can be sometimes a little bit needy with others, or just a bit codependent, and get used to that sort of energy. But that's on the darker side of Libra. That's not all about Libra. That's just the dynamic that could be occurring under this full moon. All right. And I apologise to Cancers for getting you in that cardinal list there. Oh my gosh. All right. So what else am I... Oh yeah, the other thing is this week, big news is Jupiter is on the anaretic degree towards the end of the week of Libra, 29 degrees of Libra, before it moves in to Scorpio for a whole year. Now, I've done a whole video on this on my main channel, and I'll put a link to that video below where you can find out how this transit of Jupiter into Scorpio is going to affect your sign and what to expect in general. And then lastly, on Sunday, Saturn in Sagittarius makes a trine aspect to the North Node in Leo. So if you're anyone that has fire energy around 22 degrees, so that's 22 degrees of Leo, Sagittarius or Aries, there is some kind of push forward or an opportunity around taking responsibility in a practical structure related aspect of your life. So and for everyone in general, there could be a bit of a push forward around the end of this week. Now, it's not going to affect everybody the same. It could be quite subtle for some people, or be more pronounced for others. So let's have a look at the cards for this week. And, whoops, which way have I got them? There we go. Let's see what we've got with this quite busy week with a full moon towards the end of the week and all the other things going on. We want to go here. It's 1, 2. This one's back here. It's getting my attention. Alright, so I'm just going to make sure the camera's got those. Yep, okay. Oh, great. The success card. Always love to see that. So it's the 6 of Wands, followed by, the 4 of Cups. Interesting. And the Tower. Oh, great. Some Tower energy. Wow. Okay, so I'm going to sort of read this as this being the beginning of the week, the middle of the week, and the end of the week. So with the 6 of Wands, we come into the week feeling quite positive, and there's a feeling of success around what we're doing. And with the Wands, it's always very practical, passion related. So it could be to do with following your passions, following your path, where you're at. You may be feeling buoyant at the beginning of the week, and that could definitely relate to Mars trine Pluto, especially for the Earth sign. So that's a good energy to start the beginning of the week with. The middle of the week, we have the 4 of Cups. So this is a feeling here of, not really seeing clearly what you should be grateful for in your life. Kind of, she's being offered this cup here, and she's also looking at these cups in this particular card, but she's not too impressed. She's kind of like, yeah, I've done well, but it's either not enough, or it's not good enough, or, what this could be addressing is a core issue within yourself of of not feeling good enough within yourself no matter what you do, you know, and this could be something to do with a core wound that you're facing in yourself at this particular time of your life, or it could be this week you're just facing some difficult issues in yourself to do with emotional issues. And I really feel for some people these really stem from childhood wounds. I'm really drawn to that very murky green lake in the back, and there's some green hills, but there's a green lake back there and it looks very murky. And to me that makes me feel like these childhood issues that have not been looked at, these stagnant waters of emotions. And I mean, when I say not being looked at, I'm sure, you know, it's not a case of you haven't thought of these issues, but it's something that needs to be addressed rather than addressing it in the external world is what I'm getting. So, you know, something this week is drawing your attention to your inner world, to where you feel a sense of lack, to where you feel perhaps even a void inside yourself that you feel like you always are trying to fill, but it's never able to feel fulfilled. So it's something that needs to be, when that happens, it's always something that needs to be worked on within yourself. If you're always constantly striving externally, or you always feel like you're not good enough externally in your external world with who you are, with the image of yourself, with your identity, all these type of issues are coming up in regards to this message here, okay? So I feel quite serious with this for some people. I feel like there is really a need to really address a wounded inner child there. And, you know, interesting, that does relate to the full moon in Aries, because the full moon in Aries can bring up that feeling of the inner wounded child. You know, Aries represents that, the inner child that is very, very simple and very straightforward in a way, and just has, you know, very basic needs. And if those needs had not been met in childhood, then it can bring up a lot of pain. And so that's what this is talking about this week, looking at the past perhaps, and why you may be sabotaging yourself now, or pushing things away now as well that are good for you, but you just feel unworthy of on some level. And maybe there's a need to reflect and really think about these things rather than just keep yourself busy all the time. So the Tower card, very interesting, shows like an ending of some sort for some people. Now, it's not going to be everyone. Sometimes when the Tower card comes up in my readings, I find there's something globally that happens, something unexpected. So let's hope it's nothing too horrible and dramatic. But, you know, unfortunately that is the nature of the Tower card. It's often, you know, not always, but often it does represent something dramatic and shocking that happens, but sometimes it's just, it can represent fears and a fear of some, you know, calamity happening, that you know, your mind is getting out of control and you're just always worried about your successes being taken away from you, which is another way that I could read this. So some people, you know, you may self-sabotage yourself, or be careful of self-sabotage this week, because with these cards here, there is success around you, but there's a lack of self-worth energy and a potential self-sabotage. For some people, that's how I would read it. For other people, there could be something at the end of the week of an unexpected development, an emotional outburst that someone around you has, your own emotions, you know, culminating to a peak, and a feeling, a need to express something very powerful. For others, it can be an ending of a situation and a big change in some aspect of your life, okay? So those were the tarot cards for this week, and let's have a look at the Eternal Crystal Oracle cards. I really love these cards by Jade Sky, who's an Australian psychic and medium. Alright, I'm just going to get the one off the top because that's what I feel drawn to. Oh, we had this last time. Again, interesting. Alright, so I love this card. It's hematite and it says mental strength, the root chakra. Again, I have this energy of boundaries here. So do not be afraid this week to exercise your right to have boundaries between yourself and others. You know, you don't, just because other people demand that you give them more than what you're capable of giving, or they demand that you give them more time or energy, it doesn't mean that you have to. You know, you need to look after yourself and your own needs. So I feel like sometimes with this card, and I'm getting that now, is not to be too self-sacrificing with others and not to be overly giving where you're actually depleting your own resources. So that would be a message, especially for those people who are very empathic and sensitive, because we do, and myself included, tend to overgive sometimes, or you know, feel obligated to others or overdo things or just push too hard to sort of, you know, placate others in some way, or just, you know, it can just come from a general sense of, you know, kindness and wanting to help others, but sometimes overhelping is not good, actually prevents them from growing. So boundaries with people this week is important, and boundaries even with yourself of not overdoing things as well. Mental strength shows that you are coming into a time of more, you know, mental strength, just as the card says, and that's obviously a very good thing. But I feel like, you know, that's come out of pain for a lot of people. But finding, you know, the gold out of the darkness, you know, I'm really drawn to that gold there in the black. So it's like coming out of a difficult period of your life and really finding how that's actually strengthened you rather than feeling like a victim. Okay, so that was the reading for the week, and I wish everyone a fantastic week, and thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.